And right now we are 2 minutes away from the end of the trading day. Romaine Bostick alongside Katie Greifeld taking you through to that closing bell. It's a global simulcast. Carol Massar and Tim Stenovec joins us right now. Welcome to our audiences across all of our Bloomberg platforms, television, radio, our partnership with YouTube as we parse the most crucial moments of the day. Tim, you missed a lot last week, but don't worry. We've erased all of that here today with stocks down deep into the red.
Well, what did you say when you came back?
I was like, we're talking about the Strait of Hormuz and oil again.
Okay. Yeah, time is a flat circle.
I don't think you're wrong about that, Katie.
Yeah.
Look, this was supposed to be, and higher oil prices were supposed to be in the rearview mirror, and I'm kind of jumping on what you're going to be talking about, Carol. But we have Brent up more than 9% today. We have WTI up 8.8% today. I thought higher oil prices. I thought we were past that.
Yeah, we're not past that, and I think any given day, investors look through it, and sometimes they do. I'm starting to think about, though, what we will be focusing on, especially as we get that big drop of earnings tomorrow. 5 big banks reporting their results. So that commentary, Katie, will be so important about kind of the health of the economy, the health of lending, the health of the consumer.
Yeah, really an embarrassment of riches when it comes to potential catalysts this week. You mentioned big banks kicking us off early tomorrow morning. Then we have CPI. We're also going to hear from Kevin Warsh himself and Fed Governor Christopher Waller. I mean, I feel like he really threw inflation and the possibility that this Fed is going to hike rates firmly back into the conversation when he said focus on core CPI.
Absolutely, and quite frankly, I mean, you don't even need to focus on the core. You can put all the oil and gas back in there, given the big bump up that we saw today and what looks like a still heavily unresolved issue when it comes to Iran and the Strait of Hormuz. Right across the screen here on this Monday afternoon, modest losses for the Dow Jones Industrial Average, losing roughly about 138 points or 0.25%. The S&P down about 60 points or 0.8%. The Nasdaq Composite and the Nasdaq 100 taking it the hardest. The Nasdaq Composite down about 1.6%. The Nasdaq 100 down about 1.9%, while the Russell 2000 losing roughly 25 points or 0.8%.
All right, back to the S&P 500 I go. A little bit of an even split. 273 names actually gaining ground on this Monday. 230 to the downside, and then we've got Tim, 0 unchanged.
Yeah, did you see what happened to the stocks today?
Yes.
Yeah.
Got killed.
But you know what? Still up, Katie, more than 65% this year.
Yeah.
But all 30 members of the stocks down. Then the whole stocks fell 4.8%.
It was an ugly day for those chips, but as you mentioned, I mean, coming off some pretty incredible gains. Let's take a look at the sector performance today as measured by the Circle, because, boy, what a fantastic day for energy. You can see that small slice in bright green. That is energy. That sector higher by about 3.2%. But the reason why we saw such a big decline is information technology on the other side of that sector down about 2%. So clearly that is the big weight that dragged indexes down, but also a good day when it came to utilities, financials, consumer staples. And then on the downside, in addition to technology, you also had communication services and industrials fall today, Carol.
All right, guys, let's go to some of the individual gainers. And I got to talk about Paramount Skydance and Warner Brothers Discovery, because you did see Paramount Skydance up as much as 4% in today's session, finishing the day, with a gain of about 1.5%. Warner Brothers Discovery was up as much as just about 4%, but it too finished the day with a gain of about 1.9%, so off its highs. But nonetheless, you know the story. We've all been talking about a group of 12 states suing Paramount Skydance, seeking to block its bid to buy Warner Brothers Discovery. They allege the deal would leave viewers with higher prices and fewer choices for movies and TV. So, yeah, this is going back and forth. We did get a statement, too, from Paramount. Pretty broad in general from what our Jennifer Rhee, who covers antitrust at our Bloomberg Intelligence team. But nonetheless, back and forth again, and so there's going to be some litigation, or we'll see whether or not these guys settle. But nonetheless, we did see investors coming back into these names. And I feel like I have a theme of like deals that are happening or some snafus. I want to go to Mattel and Hasbro. Mattel shot up to more than 7% intraday, finishing with a gain of 3.8%. Hasbro was up almost 3% at its intraday high, finishing with a 0.7% gain. And what we saw that UBS came out in a note today, said the investment case in Mattel is not just about toys, but its portfolio of brand equity that is worth far more than the market currently attributes to the company. It says it owns one of the most concentrated portfolios of evergreen multi-generational family entertainment intellectual property. They maintain their buy rating and a $28 price target, but also late on Friday, Ariel Investments' John Rogers said as a panelist for Barron's mid-year roundtable that he recommended buying Mattel in last year's mid-year roundtable and recommending it again, saying activist investors are now involved, with Southeastern Asset Management having sent the company an open letter in May urging them to explore a possible sale to Hasbro. So he's basically saying, given the current regulatory environment, this would be the time to put these two great companies together. And one more, not a household name, ticker is FERG, Ferguson Enterprise, up 2.5%. The company rose after the products and solutions provider for areas including plumbing, HVAC, and appliances agreed to acquire FWI Holdings from Winchurch Capital. And so the thinking from some of the community that weighed in, the analysts, is that it may be basically kind of expands their market share. So a lot of deal flow we're finding.
A lot of focus, too, on chips, as I mentioned.
Yes.
The stock's falling more than 4% today. I do want to talk about SK Hynix ADRs, down 9.3% today. Shares of SK Hynix plunged a record 15% in South Korea. We saw the Kospi index down 9%. It triggered a market-wide trading suspension. So wanted to highlight this new ADR here in the U.S., down 9.3%. Kenvue shares also under pressure today, down 1.3%. A federal appeals court reviving lawsuits claiming that Kenvue hid alleged risks that Tylenol could cause autism in children whose mothers took the medication while pregnant. The decision allows the case to proceed. The plaintiff's attorney says that it's a vindication for scientific evidence presented. Kenvue emphasized that the ruling didn't address the underlying facts of the case. Kenvue down 1.3%. And this was among the worst performers in the S&P 500. I'm talking about the ad tech company AppLovin. Shares fell 12.7% today, Romaine. Bank of America cited data that said that the company's e-commerce footprint is expanding at a slower than expected pace following making this new platform available to everyone that it released a few months ago, sort of a soft launch, but now it's available to everyone. And according to Bank of America, the rollout's going a little slower. Shares down 12.7% today.
All right, a quick look at yields higher across the curve, particularly on the shorter end with that 6 basis point jump on the 2-year yield, pushing it back to the highest levels going back to 2025. They were already elevated coming into this session, but some of the hawkish commentary we heard a little bit earlier from Fed Governor Christopher Waller certainly not helping when it comes to the sell-off that we saw and when it comes to Treasury prices.
All right, guys, some stories on our radar. And I don't know if you saw it, but it sounds like it's going to get hotter as the week moves on. A story that caught our attention by our Samantha Kelly about this Dyson portable fan. I haven't seen it. The HushJet Mini cool portable fan. It's about $100, but it's being hard to kind of get a hold of since I guess it has become in high demand because of all the high temperatures that are out there.
I've actually never seen this thing either. I first heard about it in this article, but apparently everybody wants to buy these. The company says consumer reception has been incredible. As you said, Carol, the HushJet Mini Cool has a strong airflow, several speed settings. It's got trade-offs, including being heavier than expected. Not as quiet as people.
Yeah, these things aren't quiet, but I see them everywhere, particularly. Yeah, and they're not quiet. I mean, you definitely hear them.
But isn't it?
It's like a data center hum.
Oh gosh, I haven't seen them either.
It's called
but
HushJet, though.
Well, that can be
It's
misleading.
wishful thinking.
I feel like I've seen a lot of knockoffs potentially of this. I mean, it's just a fan, and I feel like you walk around,
Katie,
especially on strollers, and you see a lot of these handheld fans.
Oh yeah, you should get one. Well, now we know what to get Katie for a shower here.
If you can find one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't need the HushJet. It's all right.
Another story I was keeping an eye on. I know you're a big sports fan, Tim Stenovec. I don't know where you were, but the Seattle Seahawks finally have agreed to a sale. There's been a lot of speculation as to who would actually get it, as the estate of Paul Allen was seeking to unload it, and they did for $9.6 billion, and it goes to, of course, Vinay Khosla, who is the former founder of Sun Microsystems, or probably more known for all the venture capital stuff that he's been doing since the 80s, including being an early investor in DoorDash and Instacart and a bunch of other big companies like that, which gave him the billions to buy this company.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you think about what we're talking about here. This deal valued at $9.6 billion. I can't pretend that I know much about football, but I definitely know the Seattle Seahawks.
What do you know more about?
They're in Seattle.
American football or European football?
Oh, definitely American football. I have no idea what's
How
going
about
on.
where have you been, Tim?
Where was I?
Yes.
we
I was
missed
watching
you.
the World Cup, obviously.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
big sports guy.
Were you in Seattle?
And in fact, they don't call it the Seahawks Stadium.
I know.
They just call it Seattle.
Seattle. It's like New York,
Los
New Jersey
Angeles.
Stadium. Los Angeles Stadium.
Yeah,
you
it's
can't
very,
buy branding like
it's
that.
very confusing.
Yeah.
I thought Kosla was a California guy. He's got his allegiance in.
It's West
It's
Coast.
on the same coast,
You know,
you know.
Tim, there's only so many teams that come up and say, oh, look at this guy, Debbie Downer. Where's your $9.6 billion to buy this thing?
Yeah.
You're a West Coast, you're a California guy.
Yeah, I am.
And you didn't bid?
Well, you and I were going to go in on it, but
Yeah,
you know.
they rejected our
They did.
our measly bid of $1,600.
You might be able to buy one of those fans if you could find it, but I don't know about
Yeah.
the team.
I'll get one too for you too, Carol.
All right, no, you won't.